Well, I want to let parents and student athletes know, Dax and I go back to when, first of all, Dax is former big league catcher, played at the professional level for a very long time, college coaching, college recruiting, college offensive coach, catching coach, been at Alabama, been at, UNO. Now we're at Kennesaw State. I want parents to understand one of the things we're going to learn about today from Coach Norris is not only college, but we're going to talk baseball, which I think is the forgotten part, with regard to parents and athletes. We talk about recruiting, we talk about velocity, we talk metrics, analytics, but at the end of the day, the sport of baseball is gosh darn hard. And so we're going to get into that today with Coach Norris. Want to remind parents and student athletes, when we start talking to our college coaches, want you to understand when you hear them talking about physicality, durability, all of those things that go into the development of a college athlete. And we start talking about creatine and hydration and supplements. Want to make sure that you understand Corvive, sponsor of our Coaches Corner segment. All of the products that they have are going to be located in the description below. Take a few minutes, go down, take a look at the products. But always remember that hydration is the key that drives the engine. You can't drive the bus unless there's gas in the tank, and that starts with hydration. So, Dax, first and foremost, I want to say thank you, buddy, to take the time. I know it's busy, it's the fall. Tell us a little bit, if you can, what it's been like to kind of settle into Kennesaw State. What's the campus like, for you as a coach? With regard to your fall that you're currently going through now?
Oh, it's and most people probably, if you got kids already in high school or travel ball has probably seen Kennesaw State,
Yep.
by playing, with East Cobb or Lake Point, and that's a great thing. Beautiful campus right off Chastain Road here, and now we have the unbelievable brand new stadium that is first class. I think it was 12.5 mil, and probably a long time coming for this program, but and well deserved. So it's just an outstanding place where it's not, everybody thinks Atlanta or whatever. It's a lot of traffic, and it is, but in this area, a great area, and just it's been awesome. And knowing growing up in the state, knowing this place, but then when you get the stadium that we have now, it's like that's got a chance to take Kennesaw to the next level. And obviously the football team is doing well. I think it became bowl eligible last night. So with the sixth win of the season, I think only the second year in FBS, and then the basketball team has done well. And so there's a lot of great things going on at Kennesaw State. And I think they're getting more students every day, which is awesome. Like me and you have talked about at UNO, that was one of the drawbacks was the students. So, but here, students are they're multiplied every day. So it's been a great situation, and I think for like I said, for the most part, any lifeblood of the program is recruiting, and you got East Cobb right here, Lake Point, and so it's all at some point in time these guys have seen the players that come through here at some point in time. So that's been it, and obviously the program being strong as year in year out. And I think last year was first year in Conference USA, finished third, which is and that's what these guys are standards. We want to be first. We want to win the championship, and but with them having to play at the Marietta campus last year, how you people say, I know what you're going through, but they never went through it. And I
Right.
told Coach, I said, I know what that's like. When we had to play at Hoover when they built Sewell Thomas Stadium. So it's a strain, and to be at the top of the conference, that's a tribute to these guys, and because that's tough to do when you have to go play, whether it's 10 miles down the road or like Hoover was 45 minutes down the road in Alabama. That's a tough deal, and it takes a lot of energy and because you used to having everything right here, but I think it's well worth the wait because now the stadium and everything is is unreal. So it's been awesome. 2 months is I couldn't be happier. So I'm just excited to be here.
One of the things I want to talk to you about, Dax, is for years we used to say the Power Five and mid majors, but in today's world of college baseball, as you alluded to earlier, Coastal, Murray State, Wright State last year in the Nashville
Mm.
regional. Is there really any such thing now as a mid major? I mean, all of Division One is pretty solid, top to bottom. Probably top 100 or so teams in Division One. Talk a little bit about that now. Really, on any given day, more now than ever, with the cuts with regard to roster limits. So now, Kennesaw State, Coastal, Murray State, you guys can not only dream about getting to Omaha, but you can get to Omaha and do some damage at that level.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we're telling our guys. Yeah, the goal is, you set a goals. Hey, win the conference, win the regular season, win the tournament, win your regional, win the super regional, go to Omaha. But the thing is, like, go to Omaha and win the national championship, compete to win the national championship, because that's what everybody's trying to do, and it's real now. Where maybe 15, 20 years ago you say that, it's not as likely. You can, as a coach, you can be confident and say that all you want, but that wouldn't happen 15, 20 years ago. But now with the parity of the scholarships uh, and I see, people are going where they're a good fit. And I hear you talk about it all the time. Go to a program just because you grow up in the state of Alabama, you're an Alabama fan. That place might not be a good fit for you. Go where it's a good fit for you. And then there's so many players out there nowadays and so many good programs that have, first of all, to do that, you got to have the resources, and here we got the resources. So there's no there's no reason that we can't, have that goal of going to Omaha and competing for a national championship. So it's just a matter of, you got to be playing. It's like anything else, playing your best ball at the end of the year. And you we play all the, Georgia, Florida State. So and we got just as good as players as anybody else. So where, maybe, obviously Arkansas has the indoor and more stuff, the pitching labs and all that. But so these other schools, like I say, they're getting right there because people are realizing that it can be done, and they're putting money into the programs, and that I think is great. And where you don't have to be at the SEC or ACC to go to Omaha, and so that's been a great thing.
Well, one of the things I want parents and athletes to understand. Typically, when I'm talking with college coaches, we're going to kind of stay within a certain parameter. But with Dax and his background, I think it's really an opportunity for you as parents and obviously student athletes to learn a little bit about the game at that higher level. So, Dax, one of the questions that I constantly get is specifically now from high school parents. What makes that transition from high school to college and then college to pro ball so difficult? In other words, I think a lot of parents are led to believe, for a myriad of different reasons, that there's a linear path from high school to college and then from college to pro ball. But I always try to tell parents, it's like the Grand Canyon jump and you're evil Knievel and there's no parachutes. That is a huge jump from high school to college baseball. Can you kind of fill in what makes it such a big jump, and how can high school athletes prepare in total for what awaits them at the college baseball level?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question that I think what happens when these kids come in, they're not used to the workload of day in and day out. Like, and we tell them all the time, you don't win a championship and in the spring. It starts the first day you get on campus, or even before,
Right.
when all the stuff is sent out, your mind's already thinking, you're already preparing to make a championship run. But I think probably when they get here, just now you as a high school kid, yeah, you're not every single day doing something with baseball. You got you don't have fall baseball like we do here. Like we have, we've been going at it since what mid August, whether it's been 4-on-1s or full team, and we'll end up next Saturday. We play Auburn here November the 9th. So that's what, constant, what, 2.5 months or 3 months of grinding it every single day. And yeah, you have the off day, but even with the off day, guys are still up here working and doing the weights and all that. And I think too, some high schools out here, like, well, we didn't do weights in high school. And then they get here, well, the weights, you start doing that, it's the 6 a.m. workouts. Then you go to class. I think it's just the structure of it's nonstop every single day. And that's what you have to do to succeed at this level, and not only and do well in the classroom too. So that's the biggest thing. But I think too, if parents prepare them for that and go, you know what, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna have times that you're gonna feel like, even a JUCO guy. I remember the year when I went into Alabama as a JUCO guy. I'm like, damn, this is hard, you know. And we had a very good JUCO program, but it's just another step. But I think if parents would tell them, hey, hey, you're gonna have struggles, stay with it. And you can see we have a very talented freshman class here, and now you can see their talent start to take over because they've gone through the workload and they understand it. You can tell, Walter, you can tell people all the time, like, hey, it's going to be tough. And then until they see it, until they in it every day, then they're like, okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about. And I think that's it's constant day after day. You can't miss class. There's a lot of going into being a student athlete. Well, sometimes in high school, if you don't feel like going to school that day, that's the choice you make, but it's okay. Well, here, you can't you can't do that. You gotta, first of all, you're a student athlete, so you're already put on a higher pedestal than the normal kid. So I think that's the main thing of, in the body fatigue, like you're talking about, recovery, hydration. They might have gone through parts of that, but not on a consistent basis. And I think that would probably be the main thing, doing it consistent day in and day out. And, you see it with every freshman. I don't care how good you are. There's every freshman at every stop I had that they're 2 weeks in, they're like, holy cow, now we got to go lift after we practice. Yeah, that's the way, that's the way it is. So but and I think guys are getting, kids are getting more prepared, with the travel ball coaches or high school coaches. I'm telling them it's different. And I think too, another thing is probably the biggest thing, like when kids get here, you're just another player.
Right.
There's another pitcher out there that throws 93 too. That's got an 88-mile-an-hour slider. Where before you might have been the only one to have that, and you felt like you were the best player in the country. Where now you got to compete, you got to earn it, and I think too, and understanding and learning to take the criticism, which they think, kids nowadays think we're criticizing, or when we're coaching them, and learn to take that, like, hey, they your feelings, throw your feelings out the window. You come into a place that's we're trying to win championships, and you're also trying to have a 3-0 and in the classroom, and be a good person. That is why you coming here or wherever you're going. And that's, I think, as parents, and I have a son now, it's a ninth grader. I'm telling him, hey, they went to hit the other morning at 7 a.m. He's telling me, hey, I'm tired. Hey, well, if you're gonna play college ball, that's every day. That's we do that every day, and that, I think that's the biggest thing. But once they realize that, Walter, they go, okay, I'm good enough to be here. I see how it works, and then they start, their talent takes over.
One of the things that, when we start talking about Kennesaw State, Conference USA, your out of conference games, or Georgia, Florida State, et cetera, Auburn, one of the things I would love for you to discuss is not only your dugout at Kennesaw State, but whether it's pro ball, at A ball, double A, triple A, and obviously the show. Everybody has to learn that their starting position or their roster spot, for the most part, is temporary, meaning, hey, man, we love you as a person, but you must produce. You must understand and excel in the role that the team needs you. And you just touched on that with, hey, you might have been a dude in high school, 93, and you're dotting up a slider at 88, but we got a whole staff of those guys. And we
Yeah,
play teams that have balls. Talk about that level of being competitive and the mindset, not personal. I'm not criticizing you. It's nothing personal. It's just
yeah.
business. You got to perform, and talk about that. Parents and athletes get upset. Man, this guy, I'm not playing, and I think I'm better than that guy. What does that mindset have to be, both as a college player and obviously as a professional, making sure you're competing every day? Nothing that you did yesterday is really guaranteeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing, not the crazy thing is, I'm listening to the late great Tony Robichaux
Yep.
on the way in this morning, and he was talking about the model, how the model has changed, of where, that it's not everybody plays anymore. This is not travel ball where you got 9 guys or 10 guys, and then if you don't make that team, then they go start another team so you can play. Well,
Right.
you're not teaching how to fight. And I think that's a great point of not understanding that you have to earn it. And that's probably the biggest thing that hits them when they get here. They go, wait a minute, I was ranked number 75 in perfect game, or the state of Georgia or the state of Alabama, and I'm like third on the depth chart. Yeah, because you hadn't gone in and grinded and earn your way. And that's not, you know given to you. Just because you might be on 40% scholarship doesn't guarantee you that you're going to be the starting guy. And I think that's the biggest thing that kids today need to learn. Okay, why is that guy beating me out? Or why, if we got the same talent, what is he doing uh that's better than me? Where sometimes they won't go in depth with that. It's like, okay, well, they got their guy, the coaches got their favorites, or whatever. And that's not the case. Coaches got the favorites, coach, the guys that do it right, the guys that perform. I mean, because the thing about it is our job's on the line too. So if we ain't performing, I mean, we're gone too. So there's the pride of obviously helping the guy, character wise or whatever, but it's still at the end of the day, it's like you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, you're 0 for your last 15. You expect Cole to keep running you in the lineup? No, it don't happen that way. So, and I think that's the mental part that, okay, you know what? I got right now. I'm not good enough to start. I gotta go back to work. Got to earn my way. Uh, take more ground balls, hit more in the cage, not just get the coach to go hit with you when it feels good for you. I'm going in. He told you, hey, I might need to be hitting opposite field better. Well, I mean, we have the eye pitch machine. We got all the stuff that you can go in the cage at 11 o'clock at night and hit and work on your craft. And I think that's the biggest thing of knowing, taking that that criticism or taking that, hey, right now I'm not the guy, but mentally I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna keep working and keep grinding to where I need to be. And obviously we tell guys all the time, we brought you here for a reason. I mean, you're good enough to get a scholarship or good enough to be an invited walk on, and all that really uh, gives you a chance. Now, what you do with that chance, and you have every opportunity. What you do with that is up to you. And some guys, produce. Some guys develop and keep going forward with it, and then some guys regress to where they take that attitude of like, oh well, they got their guy. Let's go to another school next year. Well, it's going to be the same battle if you still have that same mindset. So it's like get in there, earn your way, and grind it out. And that's the part we tried to work on more is the mental side of it. Hey, you gonna fail, man. You gonna get blown away. Uh, Tyler Beede's gonna blow you away with that fastball. Hey, what are you gonna do next time? You gonna try to figure out maybe I need to start earlier, whatever to hit him. So that's the biggest thing of spending more time of hey you got to fight for it, you got to earn it, and that is a good thing here. Like it's earned. We got a couple high profile guys, and they're earning their way, and but they know it's not given to them too, and I think that's the whole key was where in the past coaches we've been probably enabled the problem of going, okay, well, this guy's on 70%. We got to play him. No, you don't. I mean, hey, if he ain't producing, that's your fault. You gave him 70%. So, now he's got to get better. But I think that's the biggest thing, Walter. And and you know as well as anybody, it's about earning because when you get like here or Vanderbilt, those places, you just another guy, and when you understand that, I think that's when you can succeed or take that next step and understand there's going to be the failure of it too. So
One of the things last question, and I think this is really great perspective because as you alluded to, you have a son that is a freshman. I think a lot of parents, Dax, I think maybe 10, 5, 10, 15 years ago used to think, okay, college recruiting, 8th, ninth, 10th grade, I got to get exposure. But in today's world, it's more about, hey, man, work in silence during your 8th, ninth, 10th, even now 11th grade year, build the body of work. How do you approach as a dad, and what type of advice would you give as a college coach to those families and those athletes that are younger? They're just starting the high school experience. How can they be best prepared for potentially playing at the college level?
I think that it's like I say each year it's a process. Like I take my son for instance. So he's going to Walton High School. Walton High School is one of the top high schools in the state of Georgia. They won the state championship last year. So I told him, I said, hey, you got to work. That's a very good program. And even I remember in 1992 when I graduated high school, you'd hear about Walton High School.
Oh yeah.
So I said that's a long tradition of good players. I said so you got to go in there and work. And I said, and too as a parent too, and I understand when you have a kid, it is different. You want the best for your kid, but also I've tried to make where, hey, you go take care, you go talk to Coach Amos, you go take care of all that, whatever you need to do. Because he moved in here later, but I'm like, you take care of that. And when I think too, I'm telling the kids to take more responsibility and accountability of doing that. That's only going to help down the road. When you do get to college, hey, there's something on my mind. I'm gonna walk up, like a man to Coach Co's office, and we're gonna have a talk where sometimes them when we allow them to, oh well, I'll just call the coach, I'll do this. No, it's like I told him, you're in ninth grade now. This is preparing you for the next step. So I think that's one of the main things. Let them do the stuff they need to do. Don't, as parents, yeah, you want to be involved, but we can't be too involved. And with him too, it's like hey, just because I played at the highest level, just because I coached at the highest level, I don't really want to work with him. And the other guys, the coaches here do a great job with him, and because it's that parent factor. But I try to make him do as much on his own, because when they get here, they're, like I say, they're on an island by themselves, and you got to figure out, okay, what I need to do, and by doing that, it's communication. All right, I got to go talk to Walter here. I got to figure out what I need to do, and I think that's probably the first step, as a ninth grader or 10th grader, and not going, hey, if your buddy's already committed, that's okay. You're 15 years old. There's still a lot of time left. Don't get caught
Amen.
up in the recruiting process of it, and get better every day, and earn your way onto the ninth grade team or the JV team. And that's probably the biggest advice I would give. Like, let them start learning how to do stuff on their own, and figure it out. And sometimes, as parents, if they don't get it done and it hurts their cause, hey, well, they'll learn how to, maybe make that correction the next time. But I think the ninth grade level, I mean, obviously going into high school is where, the jump of taking care of letting them take care of their stuff, letting them, with the workouts and all that. But that's obviously the first part of it, and it makes it a little easier when they get here. Because in college, I mean, there's some college coaches that won't even take your call. They don't call me. Yeah, but you told me you're going to take care of my son. Well, I am. I'm teaching him how to have accountability and communication. So, but it's definitely, it's there's the fine line of obviously wanting the best for your kid, as all parents do. We understand that, but also, all right, that's the stage of growing up. That's the Like I say, that's the stage of high school to college to pro, and then when you get to pro, you're there. It's you by yourself. There's nobody there really to help you. So that's a difference. And I think that I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but that's the approach I've taken with it. And so far it's been pretty good. So hopefully it continues to get better, and has a chance one day.
Well, I want to let parents and student athletes know. First of all, Coach Dax Norris, one of the best baseball people in the sport. Kennesaw State's very fortunate to get a quality and caliber coach of Coach Norris. I want to let parents know that everything to do with Kennesaw State, with regard to camps, schedule, both fall and spring, going to be located in the Baseball Blue Book app. You want to find out all the coaches' contact information, including Coach Norris. That'll be located in the Blue Book. Going to have that all in the description, both in the podcast as well as here on the YouTube video. Dax, I want to say, as always, thank you so much, not only for joining me for today, but for our continued friendship. And if we can ever be of any help, please reach out, let us know, and best of luck at Kennesaw this season.
Same way here, Walter. Always enjoy talking to you, and enjoy what you do for baseball, and everything, how you go about it. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Captain, and parents. I ensure you that if you get the opportunity to see a Conference USA games, particularly Kennesaw State, take the opportunity and go watch them play.
Exactly. Come out and see that new stadium.
All
It's
proteins
awesome.
are not the same. I encourage you to choose a grass-fed whey protein. The cattle have a cleaner diet, grazing on natural grass, which is going to mean that it's going to have higher branched chain amino acids, also your omegas and your CLAs. I'm telling you, it matters from a recovery standpoint. Choose the best protein and you're going to see the best gains and the best recovery. I'm telling you, athletes, make a wise choice because it matters what you put in your body.